Samuel was a prophet of God. God told Samuel that he had chosen a new king to replace Saul. King Saul had disobeyed God and God would no longer bless him. God told Samuel to go to a man named Jesse and offer a sacrifice. Jesse had several sons, and God wanted Samuel to anoint one of the sons to be the next king. Samuel was frightened that Saul would find out about this. Samuel feared Saul would be angry over someone else being chosen king, even if the new king was God's choice. Even though Samuel was afraid of Saul, he still obeyed God and went to Jesus' house. When Samuel met Jesus' sons, he was eager to see which would be the new king. First came Eliab, a fine-looking young man. Surely this is the Lord's anointed, Samuel thought. The Lord told Samuel, no, this is not the one. Man looketh on the outward appearance, but God looketh on the heart. Jesse's next son, Abinadab, came, but God said, no, not this one. 7 of Jesus' sons passed before Samuel, but no one of them was the one God had chosen. Samuel said to Jesse, no, the Lord has not chosen any of these. Haven't you any other children? Well, my youngest boy David isn't here. He's keeping the sheep, Jesse told Samuel. Samuel said, send and fetch him. He will not begin the service of sacrifice until David had arrived. In came young David. God spoke to Samuel, this is the one. Anoint this one as king. Samuel must have thought in wonder, but he is young. Still Samuel obeyed God. He anointed young David as king. From that day forth, the Spirit of the Lord was with David. Now that David had been anointed to be king, do you think he went to the palace the next day and began ruling the country? No, Saul was still king. David had to wait until God set the exact time for David to be king. Someone at the court said to him, King, you need to find someone who plays a harp well. Then, when you're feeling angry, you can have beautiful music to make you feel better. King Saul thought that was a good idea. Someone said, I know whom we should get. I have seen David, a son of Jesse. He's a good harp player, but he's also wise and a brave fighter. Best of all, the Lord is with him. King Saul sent messengers to Jesse. Send me our son David, who is keeping the sheep. When David came, he played the harp. The music soothed Saul in his bad moods. Sometimes David even carried the king's armor. We don't know exactly how long David stayed with Saul at this time. We do know that when David's 3 older brothers were in the army, David was home again caring for the sheep. You know the story of David went to see his brothers and fought the giant Goliath. After this, King Saul wanted David to stay with him again. Saul's son Jonathan became a good friend to David. David became the king's assistant. Wherever Saul went, David went. David always obeyed and behaved wisely. All the soldiers and all the people came to know and love David. When the people sang songs bragging on David, King Saul became jealous. Did he know that God wanted David to become king someday? King Saul watched David carefully to see if he did anything wrong. When the king was in a bad mood, he still wanted David to play the harp for him. On 2 occasions, King Saul became so angry at David as David played the harp that the king Saul drew his spear, trying to kill David. David dodged and the spear missed him. And David still behaved himself wisely in all his ways, because the Lord was with him. This made Saul even more afraid. Saul knew David would make a good king because David was wise and all the people loved David. Saul sent David out with the army again, hoping David would be killed in the battle. Again, Saul tried to kill David. He sent messengers to take David, but David's wife let David down through a window so that he could escape. David's wife put a pillow cover with a clothes in David's bed to fool the messengers. This saved David's life. When David escaped, he went to stay with Samuel. King Saul still wanted to be king. Saul followed David, hoping to kill him. David must have wondered why all this was happening. Why had God chosen him to be the king and then allow all this to happen? Did God really care about him? Yes, God cared about David, and when it was the right time, David was made king. God wanted David to be faithful and patient until the right time came.